Happy February! It's Jen from Polk County Public Libraries, and I'm going to show you how to make this month's Teen Take and Make Kit, which is a conversation heart magnet. So follow along and make this awesome craft, and make sure to come to Teen Scene at Columbus Library on alternating Wednesdays. There'll be a flyer at the end of this video with more information. Okay, so in our kit we have 6 different things. You have some paint. You have plaster of Paris, a small piece of sandpaper, a permanent marker, a tiny cute little heart mold, and a tiny magnet. Those are strong magnets. That's why we have that warning label on the bag. We don't want any babies or toddlers to get a hold of that and accidentally swallow it. So, a few things you will need. You'll need a paintbrush. We did not provide this, but if you got a tiny art kit last month or any of our previous painting kits, you should have quite a few paintbrushes at home now. A cup, because we're going to mix the plaster of Paris with water. Probably easiest if it is a disposable cup. And then a small measuring spoon, or any small little spoon you can find, because the first step, we're going to mix the plaster of Paris with water, and we want 3 parts water to 4 parts plaster. So I have a little 1/4 teaspoon here. You could also use 1/8 of a teaspoon. So I'm going to do 4 scoops of plaster and 3 scoops of water. And then we'll be right back to mix our plaster together. Okay, so I put in 4 scoops of the plaster and 3 scoops of the water. You'll also need a spoon. Disposable would be best. And you're going to mix that together. And then you're going to very carefully pour that into your heart mold. Probably best if you have a napkin or a disposable plate or something under that, in case it gets a little bit messy. So we're gonna attempt to carefully pour that in our tiny little heart mold. All right, so now is the waiting part. You're going to wait around 30 minutes for that to solidify. It'll start to get solid in about 3 to 4 minutes, but we're gonna wait until it's nice and totally dry in about 30 minutes. Okay, it has been 30 minutes. So your heart should be dry. If you did overfill it a little bit, that's no big deal. You can just pour it out. You can see I actually made a second one that overfilled, so I just poured it out onto my napkin and it was totally fine. So you're just going to pop it out of that heart mold after 30 minutes. And you have a beautiful little tiny heart. It looks like it is a little wet, so you might want to let yours dry until you feel that it's really dry. Maybe just a little bit longer. But when that is dry, we are going to paint it. So you'll have red or pink paint probably in your kit, since we're kind of doing a Valentine's Day theme. Of course, you can use any color paint that you like. So you don't have to paint the back of this, since it is going to be a magnet, but if you want to paint the whole thing, you can just paint the top and part of the sides, or all the sides, and let that dry, and then you can paint the back if you want, or you don't have to paint the back. And so then we'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and add our finishing touches, which are, we're going to use our marker to write the words on our conversation heart and add the magnet. And I totally forgot, there's sandpaper in here. I actually did not use the sandpaper because I thought mine was pretty smooth, so I didn't really feel the need to use it. But if yours is a little lumpy, or you just want to make it really smooth, you can just use that sandpaper to smooth it out before you paint it. Alright, so let's let the paint dry, and then we'll put on the finishing touches. Okay, so after your paint is nice and dry, and you might want to put 2 coats on it, to make it look really pretty. We're going to do our final 2 steps. So these are conversation heart magnets, so we're going to write something on the front of them. Has to be something short since this is really tiny. So I'm going to write cute. But this is a pretty small marker, so you should be able to write something. There we go. And then our last step, we're going to glue the magnet onto the back. Let me test this magnet out and see if both sides work fine. Yeah, looks like you don't really need to pay attention to what side of the magnet you're gluing down. It's a very strong magnet, so it will work either way. Just put a dot of glue and your magnet, and then you have your conversation heart magnet. You can give it away for Valentine's Day if you like, or keep it for yourself. Have fun.